We have 4 of us, and that's the quorum. So why don't we start and make sure that we do, let me check our attendees. We have the relevant people plus, so I think we can start. So any objection, guys? Are we on that? Okay, so then let's do it. Let's do a roll, Lamont.
Okay, Mr. Allegretti, Mr. Diaz,
Here.
Mr. Dossett,
Here.
Ms. Kendall,
Here.
Mr. Rice.
Here.
Excellent. Lamont, I don't know if I normally record the other session, but I think probably Jason is recording this, the public part. I record the closed session, but I just want to double check, so we'll do that.
This portion is being recorded as we speak right now.
Okay, good. Thank you. All right. Let me share with you then the official agenda so we can I guess we're automatically approved because we had a chance to change this around over the weekend. We still only hit it on Monday publicly, but we had it in our hands, I hope. Anyway, so this is what we're doing. This is a hearing session, and so we keep the tradition of public input at the beginning, and then it has, we don't know when we'll come back to open session, and so we don't have a public input, so they're not necessarily waiting there. Any changes? Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I've been on travel and have been, I guess, unattentive to the agenda. And I'm wondering why we are honoring a request to rehear the appeal on complaint 29-06. In other words, AP 20-18 for today.
No, 18 is the request to rehear 06.
Right.
So
why are we doing that?
Well, it's an appeal to it, and we can decide on the appeal to not hear 06.
Okay, so you're gonna plan on going. So the plan is to go into closed session, and then make a decision on that part of the agenda. We don't have to do that now.
Correct, because the reasons why somebody is requesting a rehearing is the appeal itself. I know it's an unusual situation, but I think it's fair game given our standard to say we're going to include everything that is a complaint or an appeal. So I think we can expose the details once we're dealing with them. There is, though, a request to do 8 and 10 together since they're related. And so just for everybody's knowledge, that's what we're heading into. Probably do 8 and 10 first, and then do the other 2. I work harder this time around. Do you see this? Do you see a spreadsheet type?
Let's see a calendar, yeah. Okay. Calendar of complaints and appeals.
Yeah, so I've taken the most recent complaints and just color coded them because it's hard to just keep track of them all. For somebody new like Tony, it's harder to even, I would imagine. So anyway, so I color coded them. I'll show you this in detail later, but just to show the public, a lot of things are related, and so we are taking them as we can. It's not by the numbers, it looks haphazard, but in actuality, the reality of the relationship of these cases. So I color coded them, and then just to refer back to what it is that we might need. So anyway, so let's not postpone. Let's just go to public input to see if anybody has that, and then we'll go into the business for today. Okay, so let me stop sharing. And handle, oh, this is such a pain. So we have in the rooms, I think it was a good suggestion, somebody. So as far as panelists, we have myself, the City of Urbana, Anthony Rice, Scott Dowsett, Carol Mitten, Katrina Kindle, Lamont Peppers. And then as in the attendee screen, we have Alex Parker, Christopher Hansen, Jill Hyant, in UPTV camera operator, which is our technical support and recording of this. We are in public input, so out of those, does anyone want to speak? Raise your hand with the little button. So I don't see any. So according to agenda then, we can go, I'll entertain a motion to go into closed session.
I'm
yeah.
sorry, Ricardo, before we do that, I might note that when you shared your screen with us, it looked as if there were a couple of personal tabs open on the top. You might want to review what you want to close before you go shared again.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Some charts, a raffle, making these.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to know your business, man.
Well, all right. Too bad. I wanted to share you with a love chart. This is really neat charting for Google Documents.
Oh.
So, anyway, thank you. Thank you. That's always helpful in technical check. We should always interrupt each other for sure. So, there being no.
I will make a motion to go into closed session.
Thank you.
Do I need to be more specific about two cases?
No, just closed session and we're going to do the cases. That's good.
All right, cool.
I need a second. Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Tony. And I guess we need a vote, Lamont.
Mr. Allegretti, Mr. Diaz,
Yes?
Mr. Dossett,
Yes.
Ms. Kendall,
Yes.
Mr. Rice.
Yes.
Okay, so we are
Do you
officially
want-
approved. Mr. Peppers, we'll see you next week. Also. Thank you. He won't be calling rolls anymore. All right. Thank you very much. We'll go into closed session. You have your instructions like we've done it before, and then we'll come back to the public once the closed session is over in a while. We don't know how long. All right. Thanks a lot. We're logging off. All right, Mr. Jason. I'm not sure if you're the one in charge of this. Thank you. You are, and you're listening. Thank you very much. I need to make sure that call out everybody that's in the room. It looks like Katrina came into the other place. So I'm just going to read off names as I see them. The panelists are only 3 right now. City of Urbana, Carol. So City must be recording, Jason. And attendees, I see Alex Parker, Christopher Hansen, CIO AJPK, Jill Hyant, Lance Pittman, and UPTV camera operator. Looks like Katrina moved from one to the other. So as far as panelists, I now see myself, Katrina, Scott. We're coming back. And it looks like Mr. Rice is the only one not here yet. Just for everybody's feeling as we wait for him to come, I certainly had a lot of buttons to try to get myself on. These hearings are a challenge sometimes technically because all of a sudden I'm in charge of doing some of it. But it seems to be that the recording of the closed session is converting, so it was successful. We, in the closed session, have the person appealing speak first, and then we have the city and or the police speak. to the appeal, and then we go into deliberation. None, that is the complainant or the city or the police, are there. It is just us board members and our hearing officer, Alex Parker. And as we discuss those things, we sometimes have questions about procedure, but we don't vote there, but we ask each other a lot of questions, and we have the option to call the complainant or the city or police to answer further questions. Unfortunately, the way that things work out too, some of the cases overlapping, so we have to go back to video and to letters, and so it takes sometimes a little bit long. But looks like we need to call Mr. Rice because he's not coming back on my screen yet. So I will do that. Technology is a pain. It has enabled us to keep on meeting, but what a day it is when it doesn't work. Tony Rice. Anthony Rice. We'll just see if he has some kind of technical problem so we can vote. At this session, we just vote at the open session as to the 4 cases that were presented before us and are on the agenda. Do have 3 people, which would constitute a quorum, but he's not answering yet. I would not want to move without him. So I'm going to forward him the link in case that's what's holding him up. There he is. It's Ricardo. It's Ricardo. Yeah, the one on the agenda. All right, we'll see you in a couple. Bye. Been there. Too many Zoom links floating around. While we're waiting for any announcements, we are going to have a regular meeting. I believe that's next week. On the 20...
Wednesday, the 24th.
Yeah, Wednesday, the 24th, we'll be here for a regular meeting in which we'll be once again dealing with the long-term issues. We certainly have learned a lot through the hearings that impact how we're going to put suggestions forward, but it is a welcome thing to have the public be giving us their feedback to as we go along. As far as I know, no one else has been interviewed. We're still missing 2 people that could come to our CPRB board. The procedure is on the city website. I've been thinking we need to be more active about that. It's not on the agenda today, but if we don't have anybody else by Wednesday, I want to make sure that we put that as a big push from us members, because I think it's, I would like to do something more, and I've been thinking of some ideas, but I want to bounce them off with. So, and I don't know whether we have a new HRO officer. I mean, not HRO, our new equity
Not
person.
yet.
Not yet?
Getting closer.
Getting closer. Well, the good thing is the federal government passed a little bit of money to go forward to cities and counties and whatever else. So that feeling of starvation that I felt many times in our several governments in the area will be somewhat alleviated. Let me see if you went into the participants, into the attendees. I do not. I do see, no, he's not there yet. Let me call him again. He might have gotten stuck. And I'll just copy it directly from here. Well, how's the weather in Texas?
The weather in Texas has been great. The barbecue has been better, and the beer has been superb.
All right.
And the company, the icing on the cake for sure. So
Well, that's nice. I'm sure Ohio's just as good.
The weather hasn't been very good, and I'm right on Lake Erie, so the winds coming off the lake have been really cold.
Ugh.
But it'll get better.
Yes. Actually, locally, I see that. My flowers and whatever else, the yellow ones are coming up very nicely. So even if I don't see it some days, it is still here. It is still coming. Mr. Rice. Oh, no, he called me from another number.
yeah, I was going to try to email him the agenda, but I'm afraid I don't even have an email for him, at least one that shows up. I have a new computer here, so I'm afraid I can't help from this end.
I think he might be here now.
Yep.
That's a tough task.
Yeah. Not something you want to do on your phone, that's for sure.
I'm learning. So my second attempt at trying to get back in and having a hard time. I think I got it now, though.
Ricardo, you're muted.
Nice to see you. You're not going to the bathroom without a hall pass again, Mr. Rice. All right. I need a motion to
I'll make a motion to reconvene in public session.
Second.
Second, Mr. Rice. Mr. Katrina, we couldn't hear you. Miss Katrina. So roll, Ms. Mitten.
Ricardo Diaz.
Present. Yes.
That's it. Yes or no, please. Scott Dossett.
Yes.
Katrina Kindle.
Yes.
Tony Rice.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. We're reconvened, and as we come back together, it's just this darn system that has had all kinds of gaps. But what we're going to do is I'm going to take these by number, and as according to agenda, I'll entertain a motion, we'll vote, and then we'll go to the next one as outlined in that same order. So as you guys feel like you want to make a motion, just we're only going to do the numbers unless you have discussion before the vote, and I welcome that too. But anyway, so I'll entertain a motion on AP 20-08.
I'll make a motion that we sustain AP 2008 regarding complaint 2020-04.
I second.
Thank you, Katrina. And so, hold on, I've got to come back to mine. Okay. All those that support the motion. Oh, no, we have to have a roll call, I think, because we're on.
Yes, we do.
Darn it. Okay. All the roll then.
Ricardo Diaz,
Yes.
Scott Dossett,
Yes.
Katrina Kindle,
Yes.
Tony Rice.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion on AP 20-09.
I make a motion that we sustain the motion on 20-05.
Second.
Thank you, Scott.
Just to be clear, the appeal that you requested, Ricardo, was 20-09, and Katrina said 20-05. I just want to be clear.
Oh, they're
Oh, it's complaint 05.
complaint 05. I'm sorry about
Okay.
that, Carol. Yes.
Okay, I just want to be sure we're all on the
Yes.
same page.
Yes.
Thank you. And for everybody's knowledge and on record, while some of these complaints and appeals don't have a letter from the chief, we are obligated by the ordinance to use 5 categories to make motions. Except for the last one today, I think we will have to deviate from that. But that's why we vote yes to support the chief's findings or the city's findings. And that's what the motion is, Katrina. Is that correct?
Yes. Do I need to reiterate it with the AP 20-09?
I think you did it. You clarified it. And it's been
Okay.
seconded by Scott. So let's have a roll call.
Ricardo Diaz. Ricardo Diaz.
Skip me for now. I'm looking at my notes just to make sure.
Okay. Scott Dossett,
Yes.
Katrina Kindle,
Yes.
Tony Rice,
Yes.
Ricardo Diaz.
Yes.
That's 4 yes. Thank you.
All right. Appeal 20-AP 20-10. I'll entertain a motion for that one.
I'd like to make a motion that we sustain on AP 20-10 regarding complaint 2020-R14.
Second.
Thank you. Please take a roll call.
Ricardo Diaz,
Skip me again because I'm trying to.
All right.
resolve the notes.
Scott Dossett,
Yes.
Katrina Kindle,
Yes.
Tony Rice.
Yes.
Back to you, Ricardo.
I found it. Yeah, I'm just making sense of my notes from computer to paper. I know that I have parentheses, but it's still a yes. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So that's 4 yes. And if I could just interject, if you have any process issues on the last one, you could invite Alex Parker to be a panelist if you had any questions on process.
Thank you. No, we've already talked through the process. I think that the hardest part, and this is on the table because it's on our regular meeting, the process and the ordinance has been incomplete we have plenty of suggestions to improve it. And therefore, we walk into places in which there hasn't been a good definition in several of the areas. The vote stands as we put it forward here. The gaps and cracks that are being filled are in notes for us to bring back together. So in the last appeal considered today, we will not be using the 5 categories that we have normally used because, darn it, there is no way to squeeze the consideration into those 5. We discussed it and agreed that what we will put forward today is our best attempt at giving a clear answer. So I will entertain a motion on AP 20-18.
I make a motion to deny the AP 20-1906 by way of 2018.
I think what you just said was that you are using AP 20-18 and moving to deny the request, deny the appeal.
Yes.
I'll second that.
Thank you. The motion is to deny appeal AP 20-18.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Roll call.
Did someone second?
Yes.
I did.
I'll second
Okay.
it.
Sorry.
Ricardo Diaz,
Yes, I agree.
Scott Dossett,
Yes.
Katrina Kindle,
Yes.
Tony Rice.
Yes.
That's 4 yeses to deny.
Thank you. A reminder to everybody, when we go through the procedure, as serious as it is, we do our best to consider. I have great faith that every question that we end up doing in the closed session is seeking fairness. And as we have hiccups, we iron out what it is that the intention for that fairness is. So thank you, everybody, for having the patience with this. And thank you for the recommendations for us to keep doing better. And so,
Move to adjourn?
thank you.
Second.
And second, thank you, Tony. And Carol, as you call the roll, we will be dismissed.
Okay, Ricardo Diaz,
Yes.
Scott Dossett,
Yes.
Katrina Kindle,
Yes.
Tony Rice.
Yes.
All right,
Thank
we'll
you,
see next
everyone.
Wednesday, everybody.
All right. Thank you. See you all on Wednesday.